Welcome, everyone, to the Crazy Kryptonaut channel. I hope everyone is having an absolutely wonderful, wonderful Friday. Also, can everyone hear me properly at this point in time? I messed around with the mic. I'm hoping that means that it's working well. So please do let me know if everything is coming through as clearly as I hope that it is. And welcome, Trish and Kukla. And Dwayne, thank you guys so much for joining this afternoon. For all those that have had the chance, there is a long video out there discussing XRP that actually released this morning. There was a bit of a miscommunication. Essentially everything just went a little off rails in terms of the premiere. It was supposed to be all of us moving over from the original Mark Z over to that one, but then we had everything else come up. So that video kind of released unannounced. My apologies. I was planning on getting it out last night, but unfortunately the video went forever. That's why it's like a 39-minute long video. And I didn't even come close to finishing what really needs to be discussed when it comes down to XRP and Ripple. It was just the beginning. So we're going to be talking about Ripple today and also going through the crypto news. So that's going to be our focus for this evening. Hopefully for anyone that did watch it, they can kind of get some questions answered that maybe it didn't answer. Or for those that just want more of an opinion-based interpretation of Ripple, we can also talk about that one this evening. Hey, welcome, Overcoming Victory. Thank you so much for joining. And David, God here with the Apple. Thank you so much for tuning in and for watching the Ripple video. Definitely be curious to see what you think about Ripple. I'm curious when it comes down to it, all the different things that the community has heard, because I have very often received emails through Pops from the original Mark Z community discussing everything in regards to XRP, XLM. I've heard tons of things that I don't know where they came from. And so I also heard other things where I'm like, there's way more exciting parts about what Ripple is building. So I'd be very curious to hear what everyone has to say or what everyone has heard about XRP. All right, buddy. Valentino's getting upset that he's not in the camera. He's trying to work his way into the camera shot at the moment. Oh, absolutely, Kukla. Thank you so much for posting this. Of course, education, entertainment purposes alone. Please contact a professional financial advisor before making any major decisions with your financial future. Thank you so much, Kukla, for everything you do and for making certain that I do not end up in prison for having not mentioned those things. Yeah, I can see a Valentino butt right over there in the corner. He's working his way in. Richard Gregory, you should think about doing a history podcast, Esther. Very knowledgeable. I appreciate that, Richard, and I do. I love talking history. I love talking politics. Sometime in the future, there will definitely be something going out there in regards to more of a focus on that one. Cryptocurrency is something that I do for work and something that I saw amongst the community and amongst so many nowadays that there was an inherent need for it. I would love to just talk history all day long. And so definitely look forward to that one at some point. I'm looking forward to it because I love it. It's not even something where I have to go out and be like, oh, I need to do work and prepare. It's like, that's what I'm going to do with my evening and with my free time anyway. I'm either going to be reading the news or I'm going to be watching or listening to something or reading a history book. It's always going to be something around that. Even if I'm trying to relax, I can sit there and listen to different Roman histories or different historical works on a variety of different time periods. And to me, that's a pleasant evening. So I never get bored when it comes to that one. Hey there, GG, saying hello. I'm a newbie on this. That's no problem, GG. Everybody here is learning, and we are not in any way trying to rush through the whole process. We're trying to make certain that everyone understands how this blockchain technology works, how to participate if we want to, or at the bare minimum, what do we need to be looking out for when it comes down to the future of finance? Because regardless of whether you want to own crypto, you're going to need to know how crypto works. It's going to be controlling your bank account very, very soon. Neil Brooks, howdy from Graham, North Carolina. I'm glad that you could make it today again, Neil. Thank you so much. Donna, hey, no, thank you so much for joining. And absolutely, I'm looking forward to going to part 2 as well. I don't know if it's going to end up being something where there's part 2, part 3, part 4. Right now, I just knew that I wanted to separate what is very public knowledge. And then we're going to go into price speculations. How high of a price could XRP technically get? What is their business model going to look like in the future? That's going to be our next video when it comes down to XRP. The first one was I just wanted to kind of go ahead and set a foundation where that way that we could go forward and we had common knowledge to operate off of. And so thank you so much for watching along on that video. I know it was a lengthy one. I did not even realize how long it was going to get until I started going. And you'll notice at some point in the video, I take a break from looking at the information just to look at the clock and go, holy cow, it's already been 30 minutes. I need to wrap this up. And so hopefully it'll be the second part will be price predictions and the future business models that XRP may end up with, because I do think that XRP is going to adapt. And I think things are going to be different when we look at their business model in the coming years. So we're going to go into that one. Oh, Kukla, Valentino is right over here. He is right over here. He's been being particularly good today, which I assume means that he has done something terrible over the night, and I've yet to find it, because he has been particularly well behaved, which has me a little suspicious. Oh, don't you worry, Trish. I will drag him over here at some point as soon as he gets close enough. Oh, hello there, Natasha and Richard and Maria. Oh, and Pirate, thank you so much for joining. Oh, Valve, do not worry. Do not worry. Luckily, everything stays posted up there. It is a lot of fun when we get to interact and we get to talk back and forth, and I get to answer questions. But luckily, it's all up there, and I'm glad that you got to make it live for this one. Absolutely, Dwayne. I think the cross-border usage is big, given what is about to happen with global economy, and I believe the smart contract capability as well. Absolutely. I think that the XRP blockchain is going to be utilized to do a variety of different things. And when it comes down to cross-border transactions, one of the things that we're going to go into in the next video, and something that I think is important for everyone to kind of think about when it comes to their XRP holdings, is that XRP is not a currency that's any good for making cross-border transactions. It's no good at it. XRP is a volatile asset. And what does that mean? So say we go back to the same metaphor of there's a Japanese company that's selling steel and there's an American company that wants to buy it. And so say while we're going through and we're settling on the price and we're agreeing how much it's all going to cost, we send the XRP and then the value of XRP drops 3%. That's not good for global finance. Now, the Japanese company that just sold a steel is about to take a 3% hit on account of market volatility. They're not going to do that. And so XRP itself is no good for cross-border payments. The coin itself, XRP's blockchain, that, on the other hand, would be extremely good for making cross-border payments. And so I think that's one of the things that is kind of like a misconception when it comes down to Ripple, is that Ripple will not be used for cross-border transactions. Not in the long term. It doesn't make any sense to use it that way. It's a volatile asset. So what I imagine in the future is that when we look at these cross-border payments, what we're going to see is an asset. Maybe it's gold, maybe it's silver, maybe it's Maybe it's the US dollar. I don't know. But it will be a tokenized asset that is on the XRP blockchain that will be used to make these payments. Something more stable than XRP itself. And that is what we're going to be talking about more and digging into with the second part of the video on XRP, is the fact that I think many people have kind of missed, they've missed what XRP is trying to build. XRP is not trying to make XRP the currency of the world. They're trying to make XRP the currency you need as gas, the same way that I need Ethereum as gas in order to send a Shiba Inu somewhere, or I need Ethereum as gas to send Chainlink somewhere. That, I believe, is what XRP is actually building. XRP is building something where you're going to use XRP to pay the gas fees to send tokenized gold, tokenized silver, tokenized fiat, tokenized who knows what. But you're going to use that blockchain not to buy things with XRP. You're going to use that blockchain to send other tokenized assets on the Ripple blockchain. And that's what we're going to be diving into more. And I hope that for everyone that was watching it, they didn't feel like I was attacking too much towards XRP. Because when it comes down to it, I do believe, that's the reason I still hold it, that XRP has a business model that is not going to look the same as it currently does today. It's going to change. And so, Kukla, I absolutely do want to tour Greece. Oh, Maria Allen, I have a Bengal cat. Oh, I bet that is absolutely gorgeous. I've seen photos, but that is the only thing that I have. I've never seen one in person. Overcoming victory. Looking forward to moving to a state where I can add to my XRP. I'm assuming that means you're in California or New York there, overcoming victory. There are still ways to acquire some XRP though, if if you need a hand on that one. I'm certain I could come up with one like that. So Ripple will work like a debit card. All the blockchain is good for is verifying transactions being made. Well, Pirate 2 Godly. So what the Ripple blockchain is actually good at is because it is centralized, it is cheap, it is fast, and it is particularly efficient. They can handle a lot of transactions per second. It's rapid. And what we have to keep in mind is that the Ripple blockchain can have other assets on it. I can have a tokenized gold, and I can send that tokenized gold very quickly, and I use Ripple to pay the gas fees. Now we're starting to talk about a cryptocurrency that could control global finance, that could be very important. Now we're talking about something that could build into being huge. When we're just talking about Ripple and the possibility of, think about it. So, you're at the store. You're at the store and you're going to buy toilet paper. And you go up to the cashier and you say, "All right, I'd like to buy this toilet paper. Here's my money. And I'd like to pay in XRP." Maybe it's a little debit card, maybe it's your phone, whatever. You're paying with crypto. You walk up and you say, "Okay, I'm going to pay with my Ripple." And you pay for it right then and there, say at noon that day. You go ahead and you purchase your toilet paper. I don't know how many Ripple it costs. We'll say 10 Ripple. And then your 10 Ripple is worth $5 right at that point. Now, what happens if, for that store, the price of Ripple goes down 10%? Well, they just got paid $5. It went down 10%. Now all they've got is $4.50. Is the store just going to be like, fine, I guess I just lost 50 cents on my sale of that toilet paper? No, they're never going to use a currency that works that way. No company, no business, no corporation, no government, no bank ever is going to utilize a currency as volatile as XRP in order to make purchases. It will never happen. It doesn't make fundamental sense for it to work that way. It would always be somebody would lose. even if somebody didn't lose, somebody would lose because the price would be volatile enough to move up or down a small percentage. And so even if it's 3 cents, 3 cents of a $5 sale, when you expand that all the way out and you consider maybe that's 0.03%, even if it's 0.03%, think of $100 million transaction. So a company's just going to be like, all right, we lost $300,000 because the market's volatile. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And so that's why I think people really need to think about how is the blockchain of the Ripple network going to be utilized to facilitate cross-border payments, not XRP. XRP is what you pay the gas fees with. It's the same idea as Ethereum. I need Ethereum to own Shiba. I need Ethereum to own Chainlink. And that is what I think people need to start realizing. That's what XRP is going to be. I need XRP in order to own tokenized gold. I need XRP in order to own tokenized silver or whatever it may be. And I keep using precious metals as an example, but it really could be anything. It could be a vast variety of different tokenized assets, real world assets that are tokenized on the XRP blockchain. It could be anything. I mean, at some point in time, we could easily see a tokenized ton of corn. And I know that seems silly, but I'm really not kidding. They will tokenize corn. They will tokenize all commodities at some point. And that means you would be able to go in and invest in corn production that year or anything of that nature. Wheat, copper. They probably won't let us do it with uranium, but who knows? That is the way to look at it. Is we have to shift our mindset when we think about XRP and XLM. We have to shift away from thinking that XRP or XLM are going to be currencies that are used to make transactions. They are going to be currencies that are used to facilitate transactions. That is the future of these blockchains. They are facilitating the tokenization of real world assets. They are not backed by real world assets. They never will be. It doesn't make any sense for them to be backed by it, because how would you possibly stabilize the price? How would you possibly continue to be a speculative asset? How would you possibly pay gas fees? So what are we going to do? If you say XRP is backed by gold, say it is, well, then the price of XRP is going to be directly equivalent to a certain portion of gold. The price is going to move at the exact same rate as gold, which means you could have just bought gold in the first place. There wouldn't be any reason to buy XRP if XRP was backed by gold. You'd have just bought gold. You'd have made the same amount of money, and you'd have gotten to have your pretty gold coin in the gun safe the whole time. So lots going on there. Neil Brooks, will XRP be usable for common or personal commerce? I believe that the XRP blockchain, these tokenized assets on the XRP blockchain, they will be available for all of us. But keep in mind, Neil, that XRP is primarily focused on enterprise level solutions, which means they are primarily focused on facilitating things for banks, for major corporations, for governments. They're not all that worried about the little guy, but their blockchain and their tokenized assets are going to be something we all can participate in. And so in that regard, Neil, we will be seeing XRP be something that everybody will probably need to own a little bit of if they want to transact other tokenized assets on the blockchain. Hey, DJ says, thanks. That's how I understood XRP, XLM were supposed to work. Yes. And I'm curious. I'm curious about how everybody feels about it and what everybody has heard in regards to it. And so I am very curious. Joker Joe, I've been hodling for a while. After your earlier show, I was almost talked into selling it. No, Joker, that was absolutely not my my intention when it comes down to it. There's way more about XRP that I feel like people don't know, and so I wanted to share that. I still hold my XRP. I think people just need to be aware of what the company has done and what they are doing. The XRP team is the most centralized team on the planet. XRP is a centralized currency. When one group of people control well over half the supply, and it's just one group of people, that's centralization. That's massive centralization. And what they're building for governments is essentially it is a dictatorial, authoritarian grab bag is really what XRP has built. They have built the ability for any small government to create a CBDC that would allow them complete control over the financial futures of their citizens. And that's always been something that I've held back from really doing a deep dive into XRP for I think too long, because it is so convoluted. There's so much going on, and there's so much I disagree with from a moral standpoint, from a political standpoint, from an ideological standpoint. There's so much about them that I disagree with. I remember having this conversation with Pops back in 2017 and 2018, where we would go back and forth over it because I owned XRP and I owned it. For me at the time, I didn't have a lot of money. It just out of college and just out of work and things of that nature. Well, just getting to working and things of that nature. It was a lot for me that I had put into it. And so we would often debate around the entire topic because XRP is centralized to such a degree, and the team regularly sells their tokens for millions and millions of dollars, that we seriously questioned it. We went back and forth and back and forth. And when it comes down to it, I hold XRP because I believe XRP will be worth more than it is today in the future. I believe that XRP's business is going to sell, but I don't agree with XRP's business. So it's one of those where I can either sit back and I cannot profit off of what I know is going to be paid for and purchased, regardless of whether I participate or not, or I can go forth and I can participate with an understanding I'm here to make money. I am not here to hold my XRP. I'm here to make money. And if you take it from that perspective, I don't think there's anything wrong with holding XRP. I think it's a good idea. That's why I do it. But when XRP goes up to $2, I will sell. When it goes up to $3, I will sell more. When it goes to $4, I will sell more. $5, more. And I will continue to do that until I don't have any more. And the reason being is because unless they fundamentally change the way their business operates, the price of XRP will never exceed $10, ever. And matter of fact, well, let's do that one real quick, just to show everyone why the price of XRP will never exceed $10. So currently, the market capitalization of XRP is 29 billion. It's at about 52 cents. So what's important here is how this is calculated. Market capitalization is calculated based off of the total supply. So in this case, 99,987,674,000 XRP. And so we would take that price, we would paste that in, and then we would times it by 0.5286. So 0.5286, and we would get a fully diluted valuation of 52,849,000. That would be the fully diluted valuation. So that's if all of the tokens were in circulating supply. In this case, we only have 55 billion in circulating supply. And so we would take that number and we would times it by 0.5284, which would give us the 29 billion. Well, look, we are awfully close to accurate on that one. So, why it will never exceed $10. And now, keep in mind, $10 is just more the point that I'm kind of looking at. What if we took this circulating supply? So, the same one that we just got here. And we said that, and then we times it by 10, which would be Ripple at $10 per coin. That would bring us to a market capitalization of $551,291,440,000. So, $551 billion. That is a lot of money. The market capitalization of Bitcoin is 1.2 trillion. 550 billion would see it surpassing Ethereum, surpassing everyone around here in terms of market capitalization. And it would see it at a fully diluted valuation, which, remember, was somewhere around 100 billion times 10 would be $1 trillion market cap. I'm not saying that Ripple can't achieve $1 trillion market cap. It can. Ripple can absolutely achieve $1 trillion market cap. Ripple can be worth $10 per Ripple. It can be. I don't really doubt that it's a possibility. But think about it, guys. $1 trillion market cap is what it would be at $10. $1 trillion. And so it's going to be very hard for that price to keep going up. $100 Ripple. Now we're looking at $10 trillion. $10 trillion. More than the gross domestic product of the United States would be the valuation of a singular currency that is only used to facilitate paying the gas fees to transact other currencies. When we look at the actual use case of the crypto, how could you possibly say that it's worth that much? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't serve a purpose that has that high of a valuation. I do think that we could see, $20 for a short time. I think we could see a price like that on Ripple for a short time. Keep in mind, at $20, we would be looking at a $2 trillion market cap. $2 trillion. And so that is where I do make that distinction with. And I'm glad to get to kind of go to it. I am holding. And so HK, I'm going to hold. I'm holding because I do think this is possible. I do think it's possible. It could achieve something like this, a $2 trillion market cap, which, keep in mind, would mean that your Ripple would be worth $20 per token. But that would be at a $2 trillion market cap. It would be worth $20 per token. So whenever I hear someone say, oh, it could be worth $100, so you're telling me it's going to be worth $10 trillion market cap. That is a big lift. Maybe. I'm not going to in any way say that it isn't possible. But I'm going to hold on to it. Darren Rutt, XRP is 6 ounces of gold. Darren, that is not true. XRP is not backed by gold, and XRP has zero intention of being backed by gold. So I'm sorry to be the bearer of tidings, because I know that there have been so many things said out there about Ripple and what they're doing. But unfortunately, Darren, I actually have it directly here from Ripple themselves that they have no intention of being backed by gold at any point in time, and that they are also currently not backed by gold. Is XRP backed by gold? XRP is not backed by gold or any other physical asset. It functions as a decentralized cryptocurrency independent of any central authority. The value of XRP varies according to supply and demand, much like other cryptos. The only thing backing up XRP is the same thing that backs up Bitcoin. It's the code. That's it. It's the only thing that backs XRP up. There is no money. There is no gold. There is no silver. It is just the code, at least for now. Now, things can change, guys. Things can absolutely change. We could see XRP change their business model. We could see the entire way that it works be completely turned upside down. We absolutely can. And that is a high possibility. I believe that. And that actually is what part 2 of XRP is going to be about. We're going to be discussing why XRP is going to be changing their business model and what they're already telling us about what they're going to do. XRP, if they change their business model, these numbers that I threw out about, market cap and how valuable it could be and things of that nature, these numbers that I threw out where it's like $20 per token or $10 per token, if they change the way that XRP works from a business model, all of those things go out the window. The price could be astronomically huge if those things change. I only say it the way I do because it is the reality right now. It is not necessarily what the future will look like. I think that XRP has got a plan in terms of changing their business model that is going to make the price possibilities far higher. And that's what we're going to be digging into in part 2. And so for everybody that I scared about being an XRP holder in part 1, I think part 2 is going to reassure you because I hold it for a reason. And so part 2 is going to be far more optimistic about where the price of Ripple could go in the future. All right. Oh, Kukla. Yeah, absolutely. Kukla says, please hit the thumbs up and support Sester. It's definitely appreciated, guys. It is absolutely appreciated. Dwayne Dyer. Also, Ripple Flux facilitates multiple transactions. Also does it not? If so much for volume, if that is the case. Yes, Dwayne. So there could end up being 100 different tokenized assets on the platform. There could be thousands of them. And if there were, well, now we're talking about XRP being the gas for thousands of different cryptos. Now we're starting to talk about something that could be worth a lot of money. Then it could uphold a market capitalization. Joker Joe, you just read that XRP functions as a decentralized cryptocurrency. Joker Joe, unfortunately, it's not true. We can prove that one very, very easily if you actually look at the nodes that verify it. All of the cryptocurrency is actually held by the XRP team. Keep in mind, that's why the amount that is circulating is the amount that's circulating. And if we actually go in and we look at the validations, we would see that the Ripple Labs validating node is validating over 50% of all transactions. It is something where it's back and forth. And so there's so many different words. Joker Joe, you just read it off their website. Yes, their website. They say they're decentralized. They're not. And so I know that this is something that has been said so many times. But when it comes down to it, if you watch the video on it, they own all the tokens. It's only them. And so actually, we'll go through some of the different links that were used during the actual during the video. And so if you see right here, XRP is pre-mined and has a total supply of 100 billion tokens. 100 billion. Now, when Ripple actually launched, 80 billion XRP tokens were allocated to Ripple, the parent company. To ensure a stable supply of XRP, the company locked 55 billion of the tokens in an escrow account. Then, Ripple co-founders and the core team received the remaining 20 billion XRP. That's all the tokens. That's all of them. 80 plus 20, there's only 100 billion. That's all of them. The remaining XRP are released at a rate of less than 1 billion per month, with the original release schedule targeting 55 months. That means they've all already been released. All the tokens are controlled by the team. That makes it the most centralized cryptocurrency on the planet because they own them all the tokens. So when new tokens are available, it's only because you or I decide to sell ours or because the team decides to sell theirs. And remember, they didn't pay for those tokens. They were given them. They allocated them to themselves. They gave themselves 20 billion XRP. They gave the team 80 billion XRP. And all of those tokens that were locked in escrow are no longer locked in escrow. They've long since been released, and that means they're at the team's discretion. And so I know it's very Joker. I know that it is. It's very confusing. I completely agree. I am in no way saying that it isn't. It is. It's very confusing because everybody uses different words. Everybody is throwing different words all over the place. They're saying that, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. I have to go off of what is on the blockchain, and the blockchain is transparent. I can see what's happening. I know, as a matter of fact, that Ripple sold a massive amount of tokens just a couple days, just a couple weeks ago. The reason I know that is because of the blockchain. So right here, 500 million XRP unexpectedly leaves unknown escrow accounts. Remember, guys, escrow accounts. Where are these accounts held? These escrow accounts are the team. The team owns the escrow accounts. And so 500 million XRP would be worth $260 million. The XRP team ditched onto everyone who is a holder $260 million. The unlocking occurred in 2 stages, with 200 million XRP initially released, equivalent to 122.64 million, followed by an additional 300 million XRP valued at 183.89 million. Notably, both transactions originated from the RDQGA address, which has been linked to Ripple since 2017. It was the Ripple team. They sold $260 million of their own token onto the entire market. I wish I was that guy. $260 million would make for one heck of a windfall for me. I've never seen 1,000th of that in one place. I can't imagine how much money that is in reality. I can't even quantify it, but it is without a doubt, without arguing, there is nothing. That's what the blockchain allows. The blockchain allows complete transparency. I can go through and prove every single time the Ripple team dumped tokens because they told us it's their escrow accounts, and we can also see everything that escrow account has ever done. And so if you were upset with the price not continuing to go up on your XRP during this pre-halving bull run, well, April 12th is when the wallet started to sell. They started dumping tokens April 12th. They dumped $260 million on everybody. Well, actually, at the time, it was worth $300 million. So they dumped $300 million of XRP onto the markets. The company took that money, and it's their money now. So I do not mean to continue to be Debbie the Downer when it comes to XRP. It is just a matter of being knowledgeable about what's happening. I just want people to have the information so that they can make their own decisions about how they feel about it. Oh, Darren Rutt. Jeb owns a whole bunch. I heard there is a private institutional side ledger and a public side retail. All in my opinion, other videos. Darren, they do actually have the institutional side that they've built and the retail side. That is true. That is true. And so that is absolute fact. I completely agree with you on that one. It is true. Everything you've heard in regards to that is can be verified. And so there is an institutional side, and that institutional side, though, Darren, is designed to be utilized for banks interacting with each other, corporations interacting with each other, and governments interacting with each other. That's what it's designed for. And the retail ledger, the one that we have access to now, your XRP, is held on a public side XRPL ledger. And so on our side, it's designed to be utilized as a speculative asset based off of the need of these corporations and everyone else. Keep in mind, guys, that they're going to have to come to us in order to buy our XRP so that they can pay gas fees to move their tokenized assets. They're going to have to pay us to get that XRP. And so that's where these two things start to interact, where they need our XRP in order to transfer their tokenized gold, their tokenized whatever it is. They need our XRP. And so these two networks are both separate and also intertwined. Valve, I'm learning so much, FYI. As soon as I start watching Zester, 2 other groups contact me to trade in cryptocurrencies with their group. So Google put my name out there. Strange. Valve, definitely watch out. I am glad that you are here and that you are learning along with us. Definitely be very, very careful, guys. When anyone contacts you about cryptocurrency, about anything online, it is safest to assume that they are bad actors. It's always safer to assume that. You're never going to end up losing out or getting scammed if you just go ahead and ignore them. And I know that in and of itself is an irony because I'm a guy online talking to you about cryptocurrencies, but I would just be careful. When it comes down to it, do your own research and trust no one online. No one. And, don't even trust me until you've watched long enough to verify that I'm not giving you anything that isn't true. And it's just a matter of staying safe. The last thing I want is for people to keep getting scammed. That's why I thought it was so important to make this channel, is because of the fact that I kept seeing people getting scammed all the time. That is what pushed me to say, we've got to do something. I've got to start talking about this. And it was really based around that. I've heard far too many horror stories from people that have been messed around with by folks online, and a lot of times it's with crypto because it's anonymous. It's both anonymous and transparent at the same time. It is Schrodinger's cat, essentially. It is Schrodinger's cat. It both is alive and is not alive inside the box at the same time. And so that's the world we have to live with crypto. We all have to start to think about a possibility of a future where we have to be the sole person responsible for our financial futures. Deborah Muse Wolf. There was so much hype about the ISO 20022 coins, XRP, XLM, XTC, Algo. And that is true, Deborah. I've heard so many. I've heard that ISO term thrown around. There is something to be said about actually meeting the regulatory requirements for it. But one of the things that has been thrown around a lot, Deborah, is that it's somehow a special designation. It's not. It's not a special designation. It is essentially a set of rules for a cryptocurrency to follow. And if it follows those rules, then it technically qualifies. And so we're going to dive into that one, Deborah, in part 2. I promise, because that's one of the ones. That's why I said as we got closer to the end that we're going into the future, we're going into the mist, we're going off the beaten track when it comes down to it for our next part 2 on Ripple. So Dwayne, in reality, Ripple is a carrier pigeon for hard assets to conduct transactions. Yes, that would be a great way to look at it, Dwayne. That would be a great way to look at it. And that's also the way to look at it in terms of its value. The carrier pigeon is important. We need the carrier pigeon. The carrier pigeon's going to be well fed and well paid, but he's not going to be made out of gold, because if he was, he wouldn't be able to fly anymore. And so that's a great way to look at it. Ripple is a carrier pigeon for hard assets to conduct transactions. Yes, that's what they are building. That's the ability that they are providing to the world, is the ability to take a hard asset and me to be able to send you an ounce of gold, Dwayne, without us being anywhere close. I'm in Puerto Rico. XRP is creating the ability for me to send you an ounce of gold on the XRP blockchain. I'm not going to send you XRP. I'm going to send you gold. It's going to be on the XRP blockchain. That's a great way of looking at it, Dwayne. I might have to steal your metaphor there. I just might have to. Overcoming victory. I'm no longer on Telegram because of the fakes. At least one of the reasons. Yes. Telegram is a dangerous, dangerous place, folks. Make certain that you always assume the worst on Telegram. I have too much experience with the platform because of cryptocurrency and everything else, and interacting with people globally. And Telegram's an amazing platform, but it's also scammers' favorite place to hang out. That is where scammers go at the end of the day to have a beer. It's where they go in the morning to have a coffee. Telegram is the Wild West. All right, though, guys. I'm going to keep going back through because I'm certain I missed some questions as I went through and started ranting and rolling. I have never been accused of not enjoying the sound of my own voice. I tend to get into when I get rolling, I keep rolling. Deborah, you mean I don't have that many friends? Just kidding. Yeah. No, Deborah. I don't want to be the bearer of bad tidings, but sometimes the people that decide to become your friends on Telegram are not your friends. It's happened to all of us. It has happened to all of us. But all right, guys, let's get into a little bit of the news. So nothing particularly pretty over here when it comes to the actual markets. Bitcoin sitting at right under 64,000. Ethereum 31. We got XRP sitting down here at 52 cents. Nothing too crazy going on in regards to the correction. Otherwise, we're pretty much holding exactly where we have been. We've again come back down and we've tested 63,000 once again today. And I would expect this to continue for a while. You can see that we've essentially been ping-ponging between 63 and 67 for the past week. And until the markets settle out and we shake enough hands out, I think we're going to continue to see these resistances holding until we have somebody who's capable, and whether it be the ETFs with their Bitcoin inflows of cash, purchasing Bitcoin, whether it be a massive sentiment change in terms of the market, we're probably going to maintain inside of these little levels for a little while. I do think that at some point we are going to see another break below 60,000. I think that will occur at some point before this correction is over. That could be very soon, or it could be months from now. But I do feel like we will. Whenever we've looked at previous cycles, we've tended to have breaks below our past lows. And so in this case, our current low is sitting, at least our current low for this little bull run and correction is sitting somewhere right around 60K. I'm expecting that we break below that 60K at some point before we really start to head up. Just because that tends to be the cycle. Some days the cycle doesn't occur the same way it has before, though. So, of course, keep that in mind that it very easily may not, but I am expecting it. That's what I'm gambling on. I believe that the market will see a correction below 60K before we see a new all-time high be achieved. Darren Wright, XRP saves Bitcoin and Ethereum, high gas fees, slow transfers by moving them to their ledger through bridge tokens. Yes, absolutely, Darren. They do. And so XRP does have tokenized Ethereum, tokenized Bitcoin. That is XRP's thing. That's what I think. If we look at XRP from that perspective and we say, what is going to make the value of XRP go up? The value of XRP is going to go up because of tokenized assets on the XRP blockchain being used. So if the tokenized Ethereum, the tokenized Bitcoin, the tokenized gold, the tokenized silver, the tokenized whatever, if those things are being used a lot, the price of XRP is going to keep going and keep going and keep going up. That's how XRP is able to potentially achieve extremely high valuations. That's going to be how they do it. It's going to be through the usage of these other assets on their ledger. That will make it happen. And Darren, that is what I believe they're building. So that's the reason that we have part 2 coming out. And I think people will be far happier with their XRP bags after it. All right, though. Consensus sues the SEC to defend the U.S. Ethereum community. So the SEC has threatened regulation of Ether as a security, which, of course, would jeopardize the United States' ability to use Ethereum and similar blockchain technology. The implications would stretch far beyond digital asset trading, jeopardizing the future of countless new innovations, products, and U.S. jobs that this next generation of the internet will unleash. That's why Consensus has taken the necessary step of suing the SEC to stop its unlawful power grab. At its core, our litigation highlights several critical facts. So, this is it's the crypto community fighting back. They're suing back. Because when it comes down to it, the United States is attempting to block the utilization of decentralized platforms now. And a decentralized platform, there is no one that owns it. If it's wrong to utilize a decentralized platform, then everyone that's ever used one is a criminal. That would be millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people. That's not how this works. And so the SEC has absolutely overstepped their bounds, as they tend to do. And Consensus is planning on trying to hold them accountable to it. And so this article will be available for everyone to check out in the Discord, because this is probably going to be a major topic that continues into the news cycles for the foreseeable future. The SEC is starting to really freak out about crypto. They are losing the battle. They are absolutely outside of their jurisdiction. And so now they're just throwing things at the wall and they're trying to figure out what's going to stick, unfortunately. And that means many different tokens and projects are going to get caught in the crosshairs. This is where Ripple really earned a huge amount of my respect when they fought the SEC and won. I'm very, very glad they won. I believe they didn't deserve to ever even be placed in the situation in the first place. But I'm very glad that they had the cojones to fight back and to go up against the SEC, because that's a scary, scary 3-letter organization when it comes down to it. They do not mess around, and they will ruin yours, your families, and everyone else around you's lives just for you standing up for yourself. Even when they know they're overstepping their bounds. The SEC knows they can't do this. They are doing this purely to meddle. They know they have no jurisdiction. They know that it's completely impossible to enforce any regulation or law based around decentralized finance. but they're still going to try. They're still going to try, even though they have to know. They have to know. They're not. I can't imagine that they're ignorant. I think they know they're pushing the bounds and they're trying to see what they can get away with because they're trying to expand their powers. Keep in mind that if the SEC goes out and they win these lawsuits, it becomes precedent. When it becomes precedent in the U.S. legal system, it becomes pseudo law. And for anyone that wants to check that one out, go look at all the Supreme Court cases, go look at all of the different federal circuit court decisions, and you'll see precedent is very regularly utilized as law. Precedent should not be utilized as law, but it is. And so for an organization like the SEC, when they start to push these boundaries, even when they lose, sometimes the court says, okay, well, they should be allowed to do this. What just happened was a law was just written by a judge. And that is why the SEC pushes all these. First of all, they want crypto to suffer, so they push out the litigation. Second of all, they want to expand their powers. And they can do that solely by continuing to put these court cases out there, sue other companies, sue them on nuanced situations, on nuanced points. And by doing that, they're able to continue to expand their reach. And so that's why they do it. That's why all the three-letter organizations push the lawsuits they do. They're trying to establish precedent, which gives them pseudo laws, expanding their power, and then Congress and the House of Representatives and the Senate don't have to actually pass a law. Effectively, the judicial system is passing laws for them. It is deeply, deeply flawed. It is an inherent issue with our political system, unfortunately. All right, though, continuing forward. Oh, nothing too crazy here. Bitcoin chops around 64K, as we saw, with Japanese yen tumble, maybe signaling currency turmoil, analyst says. So we saw the Japanese yen enter an extremely volatile episode, and this fella is hypothesizing that we may see this spread to other fiat currencies as U.S. rate cuts remain elusive amid sticky inflation, which could drive investors to gold and Bitcoin. This is what I'm always telling folks. If we continue to see the same thing happen over and over again, we are going to see governments and central banks continue to push people to gold, silver, Bitcoin. It's going to keep happening. If the governments keep acting the way they are going to force the destruction of their own central currencies, because we're going to run here. This is where investors are going to run. They're going to run to gold. They're going to run to silver. They're going to run to Bitcoin. Government is shooting themselves in the foot to spite their hand. Oh, everybody's favorite, Janet Yellen. The key to reviving Bitcoin bull run is the U.S. Treasury's refunding announcement. This is actually one where I thought this was an interesting take. Risk assets will likely rally if the TGA estimate is maintained at or lowered from the current 750 billion, one observer said. This is actually an article that is really just out there because I did think this is an extremely interesting opinion piece. It is opinion, of course, market analysis. It's AKA opinion. But this was an extremely interesting one. Definitely, guys, there were some great facts in here beyond just Bitcoin itself, talking about the U.S. Treasury and U.S. finances on the whole. Would absolutely suggest checking it out. And then, of course, we'll go to some bad news. Everyone's favorite, BlackRock. Bitcoin ETF sees $217 million outflow. And so BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF is on the outflow. This occurred on April 25th as the ETFs, as they saw 217 million outflow on just April 25th. So BlackRock back at it. But for today, Crypto Quant is actually quite happy. Crypto Quant is happy with the exchange reserve, happy with exchange net flow total, happy with the binary CD, and fund premium. ETFs are back to buying today. And so these were some particularly good news. The only thing that we're really not loving here, and this is what's slowing us down, is that retail investors are not participating. Coinbase premium, so all the US investors that utilize Coinbase are not participating. And so this is really the metric right now that we're missing. Miners are only moderately selling, so we're not seeing any kind of major issue here. We see exchange reserves continuing to decrease, which means less people are planning on moving their Bitcoin over to sell it. We see exchange net flows in terms of the in and out. More people are taking their money out of exchanges. They're putting it into hardware wallets. That's a good thing for the bull market. And really, the only thing holding us back here is that retail investors are just not participating at the moment. All right, though. I got this story in there. I kind of hate looking at ones like this because it just gives you a sense of risky actions. But one trader did make $26 million investing in Solana meme coins. That story will be out there for anyone that wants to be jealous. Personally, I didn't really want to read it, but I read it. Sometimes people get lucky. Sometimes people get lucky. This guy seemed particularly intelligent about his trading stance, but still, this one's just there for those that do want to see what the guy did and things of that nature. And Kukla, thank you so much for joining this evening. I'm actually going to be wrapping up myself in just a second because we have only got one more article from Cointelegraph. Q day approaching. Can Ethereum survive a quantum emergency? Quantum computing is the next most significant disruptive technological leap, and its rapid evolution will soon make it a reality. Quantum computing may seem like science fiction, but it may come sooner than expected. On January 11, 2024, the World Economic Forum identified AI and quantum computing as emerging threats in a report exploring how quantum computing could threaten the existing tech landscape. This is an extremely interesting one. And Q-Day, which keep in mind that this is a name that has been given to a potential day where quantum computing breaks the current security standards. And it could come as soon as 2025. This will be huge. This will be absolutely huge. And so I put this one out there not to scare people, but to put it out there so people were aware. Quantum computing is going to change the landscape to a massive degree. And when you combine quantum computing with blockchain technology, you are going to be capable of creating something that is absolutely beyond our human comprehension when it comes down to a secure ledger. You're going to be capable of creating things that we really, I want to give you examples of what it could be used for. Some of you may have heard a lot about a quantum financial system. Well, it would be a combination of quantum computing and blockchain technology. And so they are looking at that Q day occurring as early as 2025. And so for those that were curious about the possibility of a quantum financial system, if I were a gambling man on dates, it could come as early as 2025. It could. I would say that most likely it won't come that early. It either already exists or they're further away than they care to admit. And keep in mind also that any of the beginning quantum computers that do release, they're not going to be polished. They're going to be very rudimentary. Really what they're going to be focused on is a different way of actually processing information. And that is what makes something quantum. It's really a matter of how they process information. And so this is one thing to keep in mind. You're going to hear more about quantum computing. You're going to hear more about quantum finance. You're going to hear more about blockchain technology. You're going to hear about central bank digital currencies. And you're going to hear so much about the difference between these different asset classes when it comes down to it. And so all of these links will be inside of the Discord, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I will go ahead and I will get Christina's question here answered, and then I'm going to go ahead and run off for the evening. I'm certain if you are over on the original Mark Z, I think you may hear from me tomorrow, but I'm not certain. So Christina says, which Ledger wallet do I buy? I'm just joining Ledger S or X. So Christina, the important thing here is, do you use a computer and you want it to be wired and you want the cheaper option? Get the S Plus. If you do everything on the phone, get the X. The reason is that the X has Bluetooth. And so the X can actually connect to your phone and be utilized via your phone. Whereas the actual S Plus can only be utilized with a cord. And so this is an S Plus right here. It's a Zester's S Plus. And so with this S Plus, I have got to physically plug it in. It doesn't have batteries. It doesn't work unless I plug it into my computer. And so if I plug this in, bam, I can then log in and I can utilize it. And so that is really the big decision to be made, Christina. Do you want to be using your phone to do it? Or do you want to utilize the connected one and utilize the computer? I recommend this one. It is $70 as opposed to, I think, $150 for the one that is the X. And it, to me, I always suggest to people when you're operating, you're doing things with crypto and it's large amounts of money, or large amount of money is always relative, guys. Remember, if a large amount of money is $100, that's a large amount of money. If $1,000, that's a large amount of money. It's all a matter of perspective. But if you're moving money that is a large amount to you, you would be sad that it's gone. You'd be very sad to lose it. I recommend doing that work on a computer. And so for me, I do not own any X's. I own 7 Nano S Pluses. Well, I own 7 Nano S Pluses and a couple Nano S's that I had gotten from before then. But I own that many because of work. You do not need more than one, guys. You do not need more than one for any reason. Not that I can think of. So for anyone that does, that link is in the link tree. And so if you do want to link Christina to get an extra $10 of free Bitcoin with your purchase, I am going to shamelessly provide that link for you. I do get $10 of Bitcoin as well with you. So it's the same price as it normally would be, but you get $10 of free Bitcoin. I get $10 of free Bitcoin, and you pay the same price you would have paid for the Ledger anyway. So absolutely would appreciate that. It does help support the channel. And as a matter of fact, I ordered us a new camera with the earnings that came from that. And so I greatly appreciate everyone that has chosen to go through and make the purchase through the link. We have a better camera coming. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the higher quality. Hopefully, you know, it doesn't show too many blemishes or anything, but I'm looking forward to the higher quality camera. So that is the way to go. And Pirate 2 Godly Valentino token, I don't know, maybe. Actually, that should be our last thing here. Come on, buddy. Valentino, do you want to make a token? What do you think, buddy? What do you think? Thank you guys so much for joining. And Valentino token, I guess we'll have to make. I'm certain that he would appreciate having more time to be appreciated, because he is an attention hog. Nothing makes him happier than being held, cuddled, and flopping around on camera. So thank you guys so much for joining. I will be back on Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our regular live stream. And then expect some videos to also come out over that time as well. Yes, buddy. Yes. So say goodbye, buddy. All right, guys. Y'all have a great evening. Hope to see y'all over on the original Mark C at 7 p.m. See you guys.